And now, this world shall know pain. Almighty push.
What's going on, Digidestin? It's your boy True Pain Gaming back at it again with another Digimon video. Today we're doing a purple Lilithmon deck profile, as you guys saw by the name of the video. But before that, I want to say a few things. One, at the time of recording this, I think we're at like 150 subscribers. 50 more, and I'll be giving away those starter decks, which is absolutely huge, guys. I never thought I'd be this close to 200 subscribers. I know it's not a lot, but like, I don't know, it means a lot to me. So thank you guys for subscribing and watching my videos. And then also, everybody who's subscribed, you should go check out my Twitch, because my Twitch, we are almost to 50 followers. We are at 42 at the time of recording this. And then once I hit 50, I can kind of go from there and decide when I want to set up a stream schedule and all that. All my videos are always live on Twitch, so if you want to see them before they come out and all the rough takes, you can watch me on Twitch. Usually I end off my streams by doing that. So, for our eggs for purple, we run 4 Pokemon. I like Pokemon. It lets you fill up your discard pile. It's nice that way because when you swing, you get a mill card, so it lets you hit those early mills. To be honest, you probably won't run either of these eggs in set 1.5 because there's new eggs that come out that are just better. I think they let you draw and stuff, so that's really, like, one's a pseudo Tapirmon, which is really nice. So 4 Pokemon to try and fill your discard pile early game. And then 1 Yamon. I don't know, I could see you playing 2 Yamon, 3 Pokemon for the power boost. But hitting Yamon early game literally feels like a waste. Like, whatever you did you all this into will probably just crash. And so it kind of a waste of the Yamon. However, crashing with the Pogu isn't that bad. So that's it for the eggs. Now on to our Tamers. We only run 2 Tamers. We run 2 Mat. Mat's super useful because it lets you fish for any purple card and any purple option or Digimon in your trash. So if like you mill like one of your key pieces like Lilithmon into the trash early, it's fine as long as you hit a Mat, because you just play the Mat early enough and you add the Lilith back to your hand or the Pied. He also sets you to 3 so you can't get memory starved. Usually people don't memory starve purple anyways, which is kind of bizarre because purple likes to have a bunch of little guys and then swing over stuff. So yep, that's the 2 Mat. On to our options. So starting off, we have 1 Heat Viper. This is 1 sorcery removal. Essentially, I don't like this card because I don't really like cards that say add to your hand for your security effect. But this card is the exception in purple because it's only 5 cost, and if you have a Lilithmon on board, it becomes 3 cost essentially. Or if you have 2 Lilithmons on board, it's 1 cost, and that's something I can't really ignore. Because ideally you want 2 Lilithmons on board plus like your game finishers, because the Lilithmon's more or less just like free cards. But what it does is you delete something and then you delete 2 of your opponent's cards that are level 4 or less. So it lets you sack blockers for like killing a Tapir. So you're gonna draw sack blockers. It's pretty cool. 2 Trump Sword. To be honest, I don't like this card enough to see it at any more copies than 2. I think in set 4 we get a replacement for this, like with the Plutomon support. But you just delete one of your opponent's unsuspended Digimon, same effect in security. Unsuspended kinda sucks, to be honest. I don't. Your opponent's stuff's probably gonna be suspended. 3 Night Raid. This card's really cool because if you have Lilithmon, it's free, and it just brings back a level 3 or less. So you can bring back your Tapirmons if you want to sack them, or you can bring back like your Gabumons if you want to start building a chain again, or Sukaimons. So, and then 4 of the card that I would only play if you're playing Lilithmon, Darkness Claw. If you have Lilithmon, this card's a Vulcan Hammer Spark, because it's 1 cost and Lilith gives you 2 when you play options, so it would give you 1 more memory when you play it, and it also gives 3k. So it's essentially a better Hammer Spark if you have Lilith. But in security, it has the same effect as Hammer Spark where you gain 2 memory. This card's actually slept on, and I think any deck that's playing Lilithmon should play 4 of this. Same reason as any deck that's blue should play 4 Hammer Spark. Alright, on to our level 6s. So our first 6 is Boltmon. The 2-drop. Oh yeah, we're not playing Millenniummon in this deck, by the way, guys. I just couldn't really find room for it. You could probably cut like the 2 Impmon in the level 3 slot to fit 2 Millenniummon, but I valued the Impmon more than I valued the Millenniummon. But there's a few times where Millenniummon probably would have helped me. But yeah, so 2 cost to Digivolve, 10 cost hard play, 12k DP. It's just the 12 vanilla. But yeah, Boltmon, I don't know, he's a solid card. He's a beat stick. You pretty much just like to turn him sideways. 1 Metal Guru. I can see the argument for this being another Boltmon, but essentially what it does is when attacking, I get to play a 1 purple level 3 from my discard pile. But its on-play effects don't activate, which doesn't matter. We don't have any. But again, you just either grab Tapier, Gabu, or Sakai, and then either Digivolve or just sack them. So it adds more utility, and it also adds another card that we want to Digivolve and swing with. Because Lilithmon, we want to Digivolve into, but we don't want to swing with it, if that makes sense. So usually I just like putting a Lilithmon on top of like cards that give it value, and then putting these other guys on top of like a Chimeramon. So, to the GOAT, Piedmon. Honestly, Piedmon and Lilithmon at any higher ratios than 2 just seems like a brick. Lilithmon maybe at 3, cut the Boltmon, but you want more guys you can swing with, so. Yeah, the 2 Piedmon, essentially this is just for closing out the game. If you're losing and you have to drop this, you'll bring out 2 blockers, and that's pretty cool. Or you can drop, it's essentially just kind of like a pseudo puppet, but not really, because you can drop it and then bring out 2 Devies, and then you have 3 guys who have retaliation, and that'll wipe a board if it's not reboot. So yeah, that's also like our main answer to Omnimon. 2 Lilith, bread and butter of the deck. So when Digivolving, if you have 10 or more cards in trash, you get to bounce 2 options from your trash to your hand. And then also once per turn, it's not once per name, so it's once per turn. So if you have both of these on board, oh yeah, the effect is once per turn gain 2 memory. And if you have both of these on board, you can gain 4 memory. So something that came up in the stream last night, if you guys were watching, when we were playing against Joe Dobby, I had 2 Liliths on board and he had a Chumon. And the Chumon was kind of like messing with this, because I was like, damn, well, I can't really do anything against Chumon. Like, that's just really annoying. But then I was confused by Lilith's wording, because it says when you use an option card, gain 2 memory. And we were debating whether or not, because if I'd gain said memory, if I trump sorted the Chumon, because the Chumon doesn't let me gain memory. But in the Bandai FAQs, there's a FAQ about Lilithmon, that it's on resolution. So if you trump sword like a Chumon, or in the future a Terriermon, you'll still gain the memory because it's on resolution of the option card. So yeah, you will gain that memory. But yeah, Lilithmon, bread and butter of the deck. Love the card to death. Now onto our level 5s. We are playing 7 5s. We are playing 4 of the absolute GOAT. This deck has so much removal, guys. It's like, if you wanted to cut the trump sword, you could. But I just have it in there for the situations where you really need it. Especially against reboot, like, you really need it. Chimeramon, 7 cost, 3 Digivolve, 7 DP. You don't really want to Digivolve into him. What you want to do is you want to hard play him, and then sack something to blow up something on your opponent's board. It's essentially just another Heat Viper. But he's also a 5. And then you just, what I like to do is when I play one of these, I like to Digivolve into either the Metal Guru, the Boltmon, or the Lilith. So you have all these options with it. Personally, I like doing these 2 more, because if your opponent, will want to get rid of the attackers less if it has nothing under the stack. And that's why I like to build Lilithmon under a big stack, because if they delete it, they're going to get punished in some way, either by a Sukaimon, or like, if they attack over it, I'll have a Devimon. So, just layers of protection for the Lilith, basically. 2 Myodismon, it's just the cheap one, so that's why we play it. That's just turbo. And then 1 Wereguru. I actually used to play for this card, and I think that's wrong. Looking back, this card's not that good. Well, I mean, no, it's really good. Okay, this card's actually nuts. You sack something to unsuspend. That's crazy. But this card's always gonna eat the Gaia Force. So you just like playing this is just asking your opponent to use their option removal on it. Obviously some don't work on it, like Terrace Cluster won't work on it unless they rest it first and like all of that. But this card will always get anything that this card's on will always get removed. So it's a good card, but like I don't know, man. I'm not trying to get my opponent to like forcibly remove it every time. Onto the 4s, we have 4 Vilemon. This is our blocker. I don't think it needs any more explanation other than this is our blocker. So you have to run 4 of it. 4 Devimon. Best level 4 in the game probably. It has retaliation and it gives retaliation. So it can like, you can Digivolve into this, swing it like a Omnimon and it'll die, but so will the Omnimon. So that's pretty nice. Devimon's slept on. Rounding off our 4s, we have 3 Wizardmon. The first effect doesn't matter because we don't play any yellow cards, but the second effect is on deletion, draw 1. So what I like to do is put this on a Goblimon, swing with security. It's only 4k, so if it dies, it's kind of like Lilithmon in a way, where like you want this to die with the stack under it because you're gonna draw 3. Next we have our Lastly, we actually have our level 3s. So, starting off our 3s, we have the 2 Imon. This is what I said I would cut for Millenniumon. On deletion, trash, top 3. We're not playing Beelzemon, so like this doesn't feel that necessary. It's just to help get our 10 trash a little early game for the Lilith. The other thing I could see you cutting for the Millenniumon would be like, well, so first we have the 4 Tapier. This is necessary. This is your main sacking target, because you just draw 1. No other reason than you want this guy on board at all times so you can kill it. That's pretty much the only reason we run that card at 4 of. And then we play 4 Goblimon. So Goblimon is the 3 cost, 0 cost to Digivolve, 2 KDP. Essentially you want him on top of like a Wizardmon, or him with... This is one of the main punishments you use for your opponent, because you're going to draw 2, discard 1 if they kill whatever's on top of this guy. So it's like, do they want to give you more cards, or do they want to not give you more cards? 4 Tsukaimon to round off the deck. The 4 Tsukaimon on deletion, gain 1 memory, inheritable. This is nice because you can put it under your blockers. And then when you block with it, it's going to move the dice one side to your field. So it's kind of like a Hammer Spark in that situation too. It's very memory control-y, and I think Force Tsukaimon is like absolutely mandatory. I think if you wanted to, you could probably cut 1 Gabumon, 1 Tapirmon for the Millenniumons too. But I really think it should be Impmon. Not for the, yeah, for the Millenniumons. You could also cut like the Garurumon and maybe the Boltmon, but I don't think Millenniumon's that necessary. But I don't know. You do you. So yeah, guys, that's the deck profile. Hope you enjoyed. I will be playing. You'll be seeing this deck a lot on stream in the coming days. So yeah, don't forget to like, subscribe, and check out my other videos, and go check out my Twitch. Hey guys, I'm recording this after I've finished recording the video, and after like heavy deliberation, if you want to play Millenniumon, which I thought about it, and I think you should. I just don't have them yet. These are what I'd cut. I'd cut 1 Night Raid and 1 Tapirmon, so I'd put you at 3 and 2, because you can recycle this, and then you recycle this anyways with literally every card in the deck. So that's what I'd play if I was running the Millenniumon. I'd cut both of those.